My name is Mark Zubarek, and Tony Betancourt is my co-host tonight. Welcome to the Topics of the Town News. And I hope you noticed our new logo. It's a little different than we've had before, but this is the January 19th, 2023 show. I would like to welcome everyone to our broadcast. The agenda and opinions are solely by the Topics of the Town host, guests, and commentators. And one of the things that I have been using in the past is the right of the First Amendment to speak free and express your opinions, and that's what this show is about. What I have tonight is a little summary of what has been happening recently, and one of the big things that I've had, Tony, is what has happened to Danvers.
No question about it, my mind.
Our community has always been responsive to the needs of all our residents, but during this time of our current controlling rules and guidance, our leaders overreacted. This is over the last 3 years, basically. Our community, because of local and state actions, in collusion with the cover of the governor, who has been replaced now, has become a stagnant and very sad place to live. We are being trained to become isolated and fearful of large group gatherings and public meetings. We must ask why. And this show will go into some of that detail. Actions of our town leaders, and I'm talking about the Board of Selectmen, the school committee, the town manager himself, and the superintendents that we have been trying to replace. The sleeping giant has been poked enough to produce a response to the restrictive rules being initiated in our town. The taxpayers and all residents need to resist the collection of taxes and stop feeding the dragon. If the king is unwilling, residents must stop these dictatorial actions. And what I have also found, Jack, if we can put up our town seal, it is very appropriate. Town of Danvers, incorporated in 1757. And the motto on that emblem is, "The King Unwilling." And here we have democracy in action, and we need to take control of our existence in this town and the collection of these exorbitant taxes, which we'll be talking about. But next, what I have also used in the past is how the seeds of the revolution were planted. And we're talking about the revolution of 1776. And we met in taverns, we met in restaurants, we met in churches, we met in DCAT, and we have to understand the closures now. They've tried to shut us down, and we, as a show on public access, have been banned twice by YouTube. So we are going to continue, and we need to get into the resistance mode, because what we have this tonight is specific subjects for discussions. We have town management. One of the issues with town management is that it's very secretive. It is very parochial to the audience that is leading to. We need to retain the government that we deserve. And one of the things, maybe we don't deserve some of the things, but we voted all of these guys and gals into office.
Oh, that's the thing, that's for
Now, tonight, this afternoon, I went to see the town assessor
Okay.
and residential real estate tax abatement process. I have the forms. The forms are available on the website with the town assessor. And the thing is that what we want to do is we'll want to express our views by filing abatements for the impacts that we have been impacted by.
Well, especially around the airport area, we knew so much noise. They did a noise study yesterday, more or less. Okay, it was just Tower Chief and Tim Donahue. Okay, and one of the reasons I know they got was like an 86 decibels. That's really loud. Okay,
Yes, it is.
and that was one of their new planes at the airport, the quietest one they have. I mean, so even me, I've picked up readings of 83 and 90 sometimes at my house. I mean, it's ridiculous, man.
And
okay?
you're a direct neighbor to the airport.
I'm a third of a mile away, quarter mile away.
But let me get to the point that I was trying to make with the assessor this afternoon is that the residents that are affected by this noise, environmental impacts, the lead fuel impact, the PFAS, which is the contamination of the water system, the noise again, and the impact from having the airport fuel depot against somebody's living room, basically, in their living room. So what I suggested to the assessor is that we need a class action abatement process basically filed with the assessor's office for the impacts that we have incurred over the years. Now, I know that this this abatement process has to be filed before February 1, but the documentation to support that has to be quantifiable, and that's where the assessments are rarely abated. But in this situation, there's so much activity going on with the noise and the lead fuel that this is an environmental impact to our community.
And a new one. Do you realize that they de-ice the planes over there now? I don't know if they did that before or not. Now they're de-icing the jets. That stuff is toxic. I mean, I don't know if they have special drains to pick that stuff up. Do you realize when that plane accident that they had over in Connecticut, do you remember the plane that was flying over here?
Right.
It hit one of those storage things that it polluted all the rivers and stuff around there. It was really a big thing. I mean, I don't understand what's going on over here. Someone's sleeping at the wheel here. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there's a lot of people in town hall that are sleeping at the wheel.
I don't think they understand. I'm hoping they really understand us, but I don't think they do, honestly. I really don't think they really don't understand what's going on.
Tony, as I suggested months ago, we need to have placards and a demonstration at the gate of the airport and have the news media come out there and say, what is going on? Because they're not listening to
They're
us.
not listening. They're not listening.
Another issue, and this one has to be filed by February 1, so
Okay.
if anybody needs a form to file the abatement
Can you
and
get it
any
online?
guidance, you can get it online, or you can give me a call, or you can give you a call.
Okay, make a copy.
And I will get the forms for you
Okay,
because those need to be filed immediately.
okay.
The-
Now, that's everybody or the whole area, because I mean, that airport affects like about 5, 6, 4. I mean, you know, it affects a lot of people.
Well, it does,
what I'm
and
saying.
that's where everybody, every resident that is being affected by the noise, whether
Should apply.
should apply. Right.
Okay.
And then the assessor will have some work to do finally.
Yes.
Also, what I have talked to him about is I have a list of homes that have been sold in 21 and 22, and what he needs is documentation that there's been an effect on the sales price of each home.
In Precinct 5, a lot of homes have sold. I'm telling you, around that airport, a lot of them have sold.
Well, the problem is that the economy has blossomed to a point where homes prices are so high
Yes.
that you can't differentiate what
No,
the impact is.
exactly.
So what we need to do, we need to get an attorney and start doing this like the
Well, that's the
industrial
thing.
and commercial establishments
no,
have.
really, I'm telling you, with no question in my mind. I mean, really, this is.
All right. So if anybody needs the form or any guidance, please give me a call or
Give me a
Tony
call.
Betancourt a
I don't have a
call.
problem.
Next item on my list, I have a very, very short list. I mean, it's a full page, but second item on here is I have found recently, this is last week, South Essex Sewage District.
You were telling me about that. I looked, I couldn't find that out.
South Essex Sewage District and the city of Salem is petitioning to the legislature to increase the payment in lieu of taxes, which has been an agreement for 30 years because we are a part of the
That means
South Essex.
we're going to have to pay for it. So our taxes.
Well, no, the reason they're asking for a change and they're going to the legislature, which is Senator Lovely and Sally Kearns,
Okay.
is that they want more money for the taxable land that treatment plant is located on.
But the point I'm getting at is our storage goes there, so our rates are going to go up. That's the point I'm getting at. So we're going to contribute to that.
Ultimately, as a result of increasing the pilot program, our rates will go up.
Yes.
However, we have a 30-year agreement that has been in place. And now what this has opened up is that the town of Danvers has the Salem Water Reservoir located on North Street.
That's true too. Yes.
And they are paying a minimal amount for
How much
payment.
do you know how much they pay there?
Well, what the newspaper said is $100,000.
That's all.
That's all.
Huh?
And you have multi-million-dollar homes around that reservoir
we do.
right now.
Yes.
So that land is very valuable. The other item is you have community college sitting here in Danvers.
I
They
know,
don't
but-
pay any taxes.
I know, but
No, there's no buts. Everybody's got their hand out to increase the take from your pocket and my pocket.
well, that's the problem. Yeah.
And the town management and the town selectmen do not defend the residents who have elected them to represent us. So that's one thing. A school committee superintendent selection has happened.
Yep.
And I have made it a point to attend each and every one of those
Yes.
meetings, the interview meetings that they had with the participants.
I made it for a couple.
They've had very good participation because they're very well qualified, all three. And it was Mr. Cushing, who is a doctorate candidate, and he's not a superintendent. He was from the city of Medford. And there was Mr. Bauer, who is the principal from Marblehead. Previously, he was the football coach
Okay.
at Beverly for
I heard
7 years.
He's the one that got hired.
He's the one that got requested to go forward with a negotiation of the contract.
I good heard things about him. I mean, did hear as a
They,
friend of mine
they
knows him.
all had very good things. The third one was Mr. Bruno, and he is a actual superintendent in the Scarborough, Maine system, and there's another one that he worked at.
I listened to him. He was decent presentation. I did.
He
hear his
was very
presentation.
good. He
Yes.
was the youngest of the crew. He had good ideas. He was my selection, but that's irrelevant because I'm not the one making the selection. All I can do is present my viewpoints to the school committee. School committee is going to have to live with the selection that they have made. So we'll see how this thing goes.
Hopefully it goes good.
Because one of the things that and I hate to say this, at least with a superintendent or hired principal to become a superintendent, we will have an adult leading the school system. So I was very happy to see he's a 55 or 56 years old He's gone through many of the school systems, and he's done a very good job at all of them. They were all qualified. The thing is that we're going to have to go to the school committee meeting and find out who are they actually going to hire.
Hopefully he does a real good job, and hopefully he picks the ball up and straightens that thing out, basically. But you know what upset me was there wasn't that many people there. I mean, in the audience.
There was 6 people
That's
from
the,
the
point I'm getting
public.
at. That's what I'm saying.
In
that's
each
sad.
case.
It's sad. It's a sad situation on something like that. I mean,
And,
honestly.
and the school committee was holding those meetings, the 3 meetings, which were not posted on the Danvers calendar. They were not posted as open meetings. Now, they claim that they have posted them on their own website, but that's not where the open meeting law applies. So, but that's a different issue.
No, I understand. I mean,
The final comment, and this is my own comment, at least with a 55, 57-year-old superintendent, we will not have maternity leave within 6 months,
Okay, that's
like
true,
we
too.
had with the previous superintendent.
okay.
So, but that's my own opinion, and I'm
Understood.
sticking to it.
No, I understand. I'm hoping that he can come in, he can turn everything around. I mean, we need some help here, and hopefully
Well,
he can pass
they-
us in the right direction.
They have the school committee is basically totally revised.
Now, who has all the power? Is the superintendent in charge of everything, or does he has to go through the school committee?
Superintendent is like the town manager for the
Okay.
selectmen.
All right.
The selectmen hire and fire the town manager,
Okay.
and the school committee hires and fires the superintendent, who is their senior representative on the administrative
He
side.
gives them all his ideas, and they try to work out from there. Is that right?
Well, he implements the
okay,
ideas.
that's what I'm hoping for.
And hopefully the school committee will come up with some reasonable approaches and direct the superintendents to move forward on a lot of the ideas. Students and parents' priorities. Oh, wait a minute, I missed one. I was looking through my material for the last show, which we had 67 pages of.
Okay.
Resident request for recall election process and the follow-up by the select board. Last year, that recall petition should have passed town meeting. And for some reason, I don't know what our elected officials are afraid of, but they are afraid of the general public recalling someone from their elected office. And this is a right of the residents to have on their constitution or their rules and regulations. So I just propose and hope that somebody picks up the mantle again and reimpose or re-petition the recall election process, and the selectmen will, in their wisdom, accept it. Students and parents' priorities versus Danvers High School priorities, Danvers school system priorities. This is an issue that we'll be getting into later on in the show. Essex Tech, restrict access to technical education. I would just like to show a very brief excerpt of what has happened at one of the school committee meetings, because this is a very important topic. Here we go, Jack. Thank you. I'm a resident, Mark Zuberak, and I really appreciated the presentation by Mike Landers. Mike Landers and I used to serve on the school selectmen board. And he's got some very good ideas, but I think what he's bringing back is what he's being fed by the Essex Tech. What I think what we need to do, and I've been stressing this over and over again, every meeting I get a chance, is that we need to build that culture in our own facility where we can retain those students by being a magnet for something that they want. And we've spoken before, we're going to speak again. The thing is that Mike Landers is very effective in what he's doing, but he's also, what I've heard in the last two school committee meetings is that the Essex Tech is expanding, it's growing, it's growing. Of course it's growing. The state is funding a lot of the night school activities, the workman's training activities. It's not all high school level functions. So what Mike is saying is that yes, there's money coming in, but it's coming in from the state, but it's for the purpose of training our labor force. And that's what Essex Tech has a function to serve the North Shore. So I just hope that we don't just accept the fact that yes, they're growing. They may not get any more students than they already have. But we need to figure out how we can educate our students at the same per student rate that Essex Tech is spending. Well, that was well said, I guess.
No, you did a good job. You did a very good job.
I will accept that.
Yeah, you did a good job.
But the issue here has been that we as a town and our elected officials have been fighting the availability of Essex Tech. Essex Tech is a jewel in our community. It is located in our boundary of our town. It is right next to the jail, but it is very well run and provides the technical services that we need.
Exactly. Like when I got married at first, I took woodworking classes, okay, in Peabody. Okay, they had them at night. You went the night thing. And in Danvers, I think I took some classes also in Danvers. You follow what I'm saying? They don't have that anymore, do they?
No.
See, that's the sad part, okay? So you have to go to the tech for it.
Well, the deal at the time when the North Shore Vocational School and the Essex Aggie merged into Essex Tech was that the students that wanted that kind of an education would go to Essex Tech. And the problem is that their tuition numbers that our town is fabricating out of thin air is so out of whack because we are going into the budget season again in January and February, and they're going to be fighting that again. We should not be limiting the number of students that want to go to Essex Tech as long as they qualify and are accepted according to the acceptance criteria that Essex Tech has. So people need that type of education.
You're right, but even too bad we didn't have it in Danvers. Back then, it probably didn't make a lot of money, but they made some money. You had to pay $30 or $50 for a class, you know what I mean, back then.
They didn't want to spend the money at that time because they wanted to have college-bound students. That's all they ever wanted.
You can't have all college-bound students.
That's
People have to learn woodwork, electricity, plumbing. I mean, there's more than just college-bound.
Housekeeping, ironing.
Restaurants, I mean, culinary arts. I mean, there's a lot. And some of the stuff can be done. You don't need a big facility to do it. I mean, I don't know how much money you can make. I mean, you have to charge. I mean, at night, I know when I used to go to those classes, there was a fee for it. It wasn't much of a fee. I mean, it was worth it. But I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Well, the continuing saga now in regard to having the handout for tax again, taxes, that's all we want in town hall is our tax money because they don't know where to spend it or how fast to spend it.
Well, that's the sad part. And then now someone that's retired, I mean, you're on a fixed income. I mean, you can't absorb all these every year after year. I mean.
Well, there's a new revised idea again. CPA.
Oh,
Town management actions regarding the CPA tax
That's more
override.
tax.
CPA, citizens pay again and again.
I know. I mean, God.
So the thing is that this petition has started to be signed at the November elections at the high school. And the thing is, when are they ever going to learn that Danvers does not need or should have a CPA surcharge on top of their tax bill, because we have more money than we know what to do with? And the thing is that it's being squandered away on projects that will not pay back.
They have to let us know what's going on here, because there's a lot of money being spent that shouldn't be. I mean, even on the rail trail, they're spending a lot of money. If you remember, when the rail trail came into play at the selectmen meeting, it was supposed to be they were going to get it and all that stuff here, but there was supposed to be no town money going into it. It was supposed to be all private funds, right? That's what I understood. Now they're spending tons of money. I mean, I know it's a good thing and it's going to help us, but in the long run, this is why we're getting. This is why what's going on. Even
the selectmen gave it away, and now we're paying through the nose.
I don't have all the answers. I wish I
The
did.
select board chairman is petitioning for a CPA override while the Beverly Airport real estate taxes are forgiven for years. $1 million is left on the table every year.
$1 million. Not even $1 million. We give them 2 reps too. I mean, right now, the town manager and Erin Henry just went to help out with getting the new thing, which I think is a great thing, but I hope it's going to help us, okay? I mean, we already give enough to the city of Beverly, okay? We do. We give them the 2 reps that we give them. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean,
Well, the reps that we give them do not represent the
That's the
residents
sad
of
part.
Danvers. They represent the economic community in the town hall.
just like you saw Gardner Trask at the last meeting. Haven't seen him in years, okay? Haven't seen him in years. If I had to grade him, okay, when he was the airport commissioner for 4 years, okay? For the Beverly Airport, I'd give him an A+, okay? But for helping out the town of Danvers, it would be F-, okay? That's what it would be, okay? Because exactly how it works over there. It's kind of stupid.
Well, Jack, if you can throw up the, there we go. This is an old placard that we used at the second time they attempted this. The first time it was at town meeting, then it was at the petition process and a special vote. And the residents of Danvers have voted that down over and over again.
I think we still have that plaque, don't we? I think.
Oh, we have. Oh, well, everything is saved.
We just
We're
gotta find
ready
a place
to go.
put it. Just got to find a place to put it.
The thing is, the issue here is, when are the proponents of this CPA tax going to learn that Danvers does not want it? And the thing is, I've been accused of being the opponent of every tax increase that there is in this town, and I have been right every single time. The first one was for the Danvers High School. High school vote at the town meeting at that time, and it was at $76 million. I reluctantly voted yes because it was time to start work on this thing. A year later, $10 million of that was returned to the Treasury, or it was not bonded, because the estimates have been skyrocketed so much that the town management was taking precautions for overrides. Come on, people. Danvers does not need CPA, and CPA money is not available anymore. And the thing is that our elected officials in the State House, as well as in our town hall, White House, in our White House, will not accept the fact that Danvers residents do not want it.
We're being taxed. I mean, my God, they said that you taxed it $165. Mine then went. Mine went up $400 or $500.
Absolutely.
Okay? I mean, I don't know where they come. Every time they always promise the $165. I don't know where it is. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, how can anybody keep going? $500 a year, and then if you put this on, it's going to be another $135, right?
Yes.
Let me ask you a question.
Is it 1 to 3%?
Can you be exempt from it if you don't make a certain amount of money or something? Oh.
You try and get exempted
Well,
out of anything.
I don't know. I mean, I know from Beverly they do. If you're under a certain amount, they do.
They have a Beverly has a exemption for 65 and above, I believe.
Okay, is that what it is?
But it reduces it. They also have a exemption for trash pickup fee that they have imposed.
The reason why I say that, my sister lives in Beverly, and I know that she gets that taken off every year
Yep.
because she's, on
It's
her
like
income.
an abatement. It's just like an abatement that has to be filed.
So what's going to
every
happen if
year.
they put this through? The rich are going to pay, and other people are going to skip.
Well,
I guess. I don't know.
People, I hope people finally get fed up and say no again. But I think this is something that's brewing in the background.
Now, how is this going to be? Is this going to town meeting, or is this going to be on the ballot?
Well, that's the question. Right now, it has to go to town meeting.
so
and
then
if-
it can't go on this election, then, if that's the case.
Well, the
Unless they call a
petition,
special
the
town meeting.
petition can go to town meeting.
Okay.
But if the town meeting rejects it, then it dies.
Okay.
And then if they accept it, which in many cases they do,
So it's not going to be this year then?
no.
They're working up for next year?
I think so. I think
Okay.
so. And
Just
I
curious.
hope that they realize that the signatures on the petitions expire.
Oh.
They cannot be held over for years and years
Oh,
and years.
Okay, yeah, you can't use the same.
And one of the things that I have been preaching over the years, and I hope you can just listen to this for a second.
Be glad to.
Danvers taxpayers are taxed to the max.
That I agree
That
with.
has been a motto that I've used for many years. Residents need a break. We saw that in classification in December or November, end of November. They don't consider the residents at all because the rules were changed in classification in November because the 2/3 and 1/3 rule did not apply because it went over the third. So, in March, which is going to happen again, Danvers elected and appointed officials will claim the town has never been in better financial shape, pointing to millions they have stockpiled in free cash, school building funds, and contingency funds. Free cash is a misnomer that is basically a over budgeting of all the items in our budget because our budget is not built from bottom up. It is just a fraction increase from the previous year. The free cash, which is the remaining amount, which is appropriate. In some cases, it could be large, it could be small. But in our case, it's been $6 to $7 and $8 million. And that money is then spent on pet projects. So the thing is, we have to be careful. And I know I have been called the tax collection warden or, I don't know. They've called me many names. But
They see you coming. That's it, man.
it's all for the general public, and the
I
general
know.
public
You're trying to help out. I mean, that's the thing.
they don't appreciate it.
I know. I mean, it's.
The town officials believe they are entitled to taxing you to the max for their management inaptitude and poor decisions. You will never hear that the costs of the management team are increasing and staff positions are increasing and that the wages and benefits are skyrocketing. Just look at this latest report of salaries and wages, and this is a report that I request every single year of the 100 highest paid employees for the year. And the highest paid employee for last year was not the town manager, it was a police officer.
Really. They work the details.
But they do the details, overtime, and everything else.
But they're short-handed now. They can't do a lot of details. I know
Well-
for a fact. There's
well,
a lot
that's
of details
by
not being
the-
filled.
That's by design because they have been going and holding back on appointing new officers.
Let me ask you a question, though. I don't know if you know this or not. Does the town make any money on details, or does it go to the officer only?
They only get the processing fee, and there's a certain percentage that the town holds for processing their payroll.
Because
and
right now,
everything
I'm
else.
telling you, a lot of details they can't fill. I mean, I know that for a fact. I hear it a lot. I got the police scanner. I hear it a lot of times. A lot of details they can't fill.
Well, they have Essex
Sheriffs,
jail,
they got
sheriff's
Peabody
office.
police. They got all kinds of everybody else. They can't have enough to fill these programs,
That's
these
right.
projects.
So what I'm trying to get across is that we cannot live by the websites that have been created and they want us to search for the information. We need to discuss this information on shows such as this.
New website coming up. The selectmen meeting. They talked about it. I think next month starts. I think next month it starts. They're going to have a new website. As I heard about it. I don't know much about it yet.
This is the
I don't-
same websites is being regenerated.
Hopefully it'll be user friendly. I don't know. When you get
Well-
used to something, it's easier. When you then after you throw something new in the mix, oh my God.
I try to get some of the information out of it this afternoon with the assessor's office, and I gave up and I said, please just email me the file and I'll make my own calculations. So now that I have come to a point where we're discussing issues that are on the websites, I have Mr. Albert Einstein, and he has been a fixture on this show forever. I fear the day that technology will surpass our human interaction. The world will have a generation of idiots. And was Albert right? We are in a awakening of the Danvers residents and what really matters. Blind obedience to current dictatorship in government, racial agenda, LGBTQ agenda, and cultural circumstances. We have to ask ourselves, what is wrong?
What's
They
wrong?
have been, what is right?
What's wrong is the way that I think they're teaching people today. I mean, do you ever go to the store today? My wife always gives the right correct change. I tell her, no, whenever you do that, you screw the kid up completely. I'm telling you. My God.
Well, no, I'll give you an experience this week.
Okay.
A couple of days ago,
So I'm trying
I
to tell
was
you.
at Market Basket,
Okay.
and I gave him a $20 bill, and the bill was $14.59. He gave me 11 cents and a $5 bill. He can't add.
telling
Even the
you.
machine doesn't work.
And why? And this is what's sad. So what happened? It starts off with the school. At least I know math. At least, I mean, I'm not really well educated, but I can give change. I mean, do you know what I'm saying? It's terrible. I mean, I don't know. There's a problem.
Let's continue. That's a story
For another day.
Another day.
I know that, but you understand what I'm saying.
The town management, in their wisdom, and that includes the select board, the town manager, the school committee, and previous superintendent, and all of the elected officials at the library and all that. The town management initiated a new position for the DEI,
I know.
for our government and the school department to divert the attention for the mismanagement by our elected officials. They didn't want to take the heat for any decisions, so they hired somebody to be the buffer.
I know, $100-something a year too.
And the thing is, yes, it's $100,000 a year plus benefits. And I have been trying to invite the DEI committee chairman, because I've had a very interesting relationship with him, because he's a town meeting member from Precinct 8.
Seems like a
I
very nice
used
man.
to be on Precinct 8, now I'm in Precinct 7. So we always have something to talk about, and we're both transplants from another country, and we're both interested in what's going on in our environment. However, Dee has declined my invitation. He has been too busy doing other things. So I am going to wait and see when he's available, and maybe we'll be able to sit down like you and I,
Yeah, have a conversation. That's the
have a
whole-
conversation and really speak about the issues. Right now, the issues are so convoluted and clouded with other political issues that you can't get to the bottom of it.
No, it's sad. It really is, you know.
So the communications, and I'll give you an example. We've had this Essex Tech issue come up every single year now, and it's becoming a $4 million issue. But it's not a $4 million issue. It's a equity issue. And this is what these guys are supposed to be looking at. The Essex Tech has been successful in everything that they've done to educate our students. They do a better job than our school system itself. So,
That's why everybody's going there.
absolutely,
That's
it's
the
a
reason
magnet.
Being. Exactly. That's the reason being.
So, I have a clip here that I like to sort of divert a little bit of attention. I miss the good old days.
Yes.
Remember when you could actually have an opinion without offending somebody.
Exactly. That's the problem. That's one
We
problem.
have to start talking face to face.
Well, that's the thing. Like I said, I mean, I don't know how to explain it. I walk around and talk to people, you know, in town to see what's going on, and, you know, it's crazy. I mean, you know, it's...
I have a few more items that I'd like to continue on, but this clip basically leads me to how COVID has changed the role of government forever.
And right now, a lot of people are getting sick, and they say it's COVID. We don't even know. You have to take
It's the flu.
well, exactly. I think that's what it is. Some of it. Some people, you know, they're taking the test, and some of them negative, and some that don't have the COVID. It's a mess right now.
I have some information that I've been gathering, and this is probably not related to what's going on in Danvers, but you can't tell.
No.
Town of Hadley, back in 21. Basically, the Board of Selectmen issued a directive that the town of Hadley recognizes the medical decisions, such as vaccines, are a personal choice and will not require town employees to be vaccinated as a condition of employment, just as we do not require flu shots or other vaccines in order to work for the town. No employee shall be denied access to any public building, facility, or property based upon vaccination status.
Well, there's some people can't take vaccines for certain reasons and stuff. It should be left up to the individual person.
The vaccine is a personal decision.
Exactly.
And there are enough instances of what has happened physically to individuals,
Well, exactly.
whether they have strokes, heart attacks.
Right. And they're starting to connect some of the stuff that...
And they have, well, I had a comment in April of 2020, and I said, I pray to God that this is not a biological attack by another country onto the rest of the
Well,
world.
that's true, too. You got to think of that, too, in a way.
And nobody is going that way because they don't want to call this COVID-19 the China virus.
Well, but
It
it came from
is.
there. But it came from there.
It is. That's right.
And they're having all kinds of problems there now, too, from what we can understand. But you have to watch a certain station to understand what's going on, because a lot of it is not exposed in different stations. That's the problem. That's another thing.
The next story
It's propaganda.
that I have,
The one about the...
I have the library trustees. I attended a meeting.
I know.
I was asked to attend a meeting, and I televised it, and I presented it to the general public. Very little reaction, except for the fact that after hearing about some alarming features regarding drag queens and their indoctrinal initiatives in the locale, some residents observed last Sunday's drag queen readings as the Danvers Public Library. What are we doing?
I'm telling
And
you.
what I was told at that time is that the drag queen that I was investigating and getting information is not the one that we hired. But the library director basically was in communication, and to make it happen, she was the one that ordered the drag queen to come to the library grounds. At the meeting, the library director, first of all, said, "So it wasn't my fault. The town hired her. It." And the thing is that we're getting so gender indoctrinated, LGBTQ indoctrinated. Where are we going? This
We
is
gotta
a
let
conservative
the parents take care of
town.
their kids, man. We gotta let the parents take
The
care of their
kids,
kids.
the kids are getting indoctrinated in school.
I was telling you about the one I heard on the news today. I couldn't believe it. In California,
Yeah.
at the YMCA, there was a transgender man in the girls' shower room. The poor little girl, 13 years old, was hiding behind a curtain, okay? She wouldn't complain to the YMCA, and they said there's nothing they could do. I mean, my God, I can't, I hope nothing like this ever happens in Danvers. I'll tell you that right now. I
Well,
mean, but
we
who
don't
knows?
know.
We don't
See,
know.
that's
the
the
thing.
problem. The problem is it's time for Danvers to speak up with a united voice to tell the education establishment, town government, and the Board of Selectmen, we're watching. And we want them to stop indoctrinating our kids with radical left propaganda.
Exactly. The parents should be able to guide their kids on what's got to be done. Okay.
Well-
shouldn't be the schools trying to push them into this or that or the things that you hear today on the news. It's crazy.
Well, the thing is that we are the enablers of the school department, the Board of Selectmen, the town management into doing whatever they want. The indoctrination in our schools is being disguised and needs to be exposed. Parents and the community must ask the leadership from our school committee. We need public communication and not the dribble on the websites, rarely opened by our residents. Technology is not the answer for communications. And we're going back to Albert Einstein, my buddy. But the thing is that during that interview and the presentation from the library trustees, I found out that there are, in the local school system, I did not see them personally at the library, books entitled such as Genderqueer, Queer as All Get Out, This Book is Gay, A is for Activist, and there are more that are present in our system, and our residents have complained to the school department, and I don't know if they've complained to the town management, but the town management is responsible for directing some of this.
I hope we're not spending money on these books.
Well, I am planning on going to the library and see if they have them on the shelf. And I will go there with my camera. And the thing is, that's something, they can hide it, I don't know, but I don't care. This is something that needs to be explored.
Oh, yeah, I
And
think
I've
so.
asked the residents, parents that have informed me about some of these school books and reading books that I would like them to accompany me. They're afraid. They're afraid of being told that they are afraid of something. And it's ridiculous. So, the next item, and I think we'll leave the rail trail alone because that's something I'm going to do a special on. So we'll skip that one. We'll go right into Beverly Airport. And what I would like to do is just give you a little breakdown of what happened in the last 2 weeks. Now, as you know, Jack, if you can put up the Beverly Regional Airport rules and regulations, that's a clip that I have put together for the identification of this issue. Regional Airport Commission is airport proprietor having the charge of operating, maintaining, and developing the airport with prudence and sound judgment, recognizes its responsibility to the citizens of the city of Beverly, while mindful the impact airport operations can have upon the environment and social well-being of the community. The airport and its airspace shall be protected as an asset to the community, having the primary purpose of facilitating air transportation. In accordance with the regulations of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and the United States of America, the Beverly Regional Airport Commission establishes the operating rules and regulations for the Beverly Regional Airport and the minimum standards for commercial operations. This is after we had our 2-hour, almost 3-hour meeting with some of the airport commissioners. They basically told us they didn't know what rules they should be going by.
They always tell us this. It's a joke.
Well, the thing is, the Airport Commission has every right to impose rules and regulations. And now I find out that the Beverly solicitor has been, at our meetings that we've attended, she has the rules and regulations that are being changed because the airport commissioners don't even know what the heck to go by.
And then on top of it, all we have is 2 reps, okay? There's actually supposed to be 9 commissioners. I guess they're trying to fill them up. So, I mean, come on. So you're talking 7 to 2. I mean, how does that work?
It doesn't work. And
So
it hasn't
we're being
worked.
taken advantage of. That's
And
what I
what
keep saying.
we as a community in Danvers, with 170 acres of the property of the Beverly Airport, we need to get a petition together for the annual town meeting. All we need is 10 signatures.
That's not a problem.
Is to put it on the agenda of town meeting and start collecting our real estate tax
$1 million that we should
pilot
have.
programs. There's $40-some million worth of land with buildings on it that the airport operates and collects fees on from the tenants.
Another thing I don't understand, and this has been going on for a long time, they've been adding buildings over there, okay? They've added buildings over there over the years that I've been watching, okay?
Yes.
So whenever they change a building, that should change the charter, okay? They should be getting money for those buildings, okay? Do you understand what I'm saying?
See,
But we're always asleep at the wheel here.
well, that's because nobody wants to get involved and get called a nobody that's...
No, I think it's plain because, you know, like I said, even when Garner Trask was on the board, he never did nothing for the town of Danvers. And I'm serious, okay? He'd come to my house one time, a big deal. I mean, he always helped the airport, okay? And I'm not trying to smash them, whatever, but I'm being honest, I'm telling the truth, okay? And you saw him at the other meeting already, okay? You saw him at the meeting already. Haven't seen him in years, okay? He used to be the liaison. I don't know how they dropped that. I mean, do you understand what I'm saying, okay? They've always been there to help the airport, never to help the neighbors. Like I said, when he was on the airport, they was to help the airport. So I give him an A+ for that, okay?
They
Come to
all-
Danvers, like I said, he gets F-, okay? Because he never helped.
Tony, they all think that they're there to support and expand the airport because that's the economic engine that makes things happen. I don't see any benefits from the airport.
I don't see, except for noise and pollution, I don't see too much, too much to really help us out here. You even see, even Ace Chase the other day, you heard what he said. I mean, one time he told Mr. Henry that he wants the airport to send a letter to the town of Danvers to stop the construction of the Maple Street project because they're going to be complaining about noise. And then the last meeting, too bad you didn't have your camera and taped it, okay? He wants the airport commissioner to send out a letter that 2-mile radius around the airport, okay, that if you sell your house, that you have to. You heard that, didn't you?
Yes, real estate agents already do that. I mean, that's nothing new.
I mean,
The
come on.
problem is that The airport was
on.
not there before the residents were there. Yes, the area built out. Yes, the area has expanded. It's very congested in that whole area. And those people deserve the right to have a environment that is pleasing and it's quiet so they can enjoy their own homes.
Did you see the building they're putting up on the other side of the airport, that building there? I don't even know what that's for, that huge warehouse?
No, I did not.
Driving in, you got to see it. They had a crane there. You ought to see that thing. It's huge. Okay, going up Airport Road. Wait until you see that thing. It's up high.
Well, that must be the Cherry Hill.
No, it was supposed to be a storage place. I think they changed it to something else. I think someone in storage. I don't know what they're doing with it now. I'm telling you.
Well, it could be Amazon. Don't kid yourself.
I know. You've been saying that. That's what I'm wondering
I've
already,
been
man. I'm
saying
telling
Amazon
you.
is
That's what I'm
moving.
wondering. It's huge, man. I'm telling you.
It's already in Salem.
And you know another sad part? Do you realize that the airport owned all that land on San Fernando Drive, and they swapped with the city of Beverly? Instead of pushing that way, they took all that land and put all those buildings in. Again, we got the banana. Someone was sleeping at the wheel.
Well, no, the Beverly did it for their own purpose. The
Right.
mayor is running the place.
Right, but they keep pushing on Danvers and giving us the banana.
Well, the thing is that when the mayor was up for re-election, that was the time to raise the issue. And I did that on the show, but nobody wanted to challenge him. So he's in a pickle right now, and he needs to get off his seat and get out there and
And the
find
town
out.
of Danvers is trying to bail them out. I mean, even yesterday I saw the selectmen meeting. Okay, I don't know. I'm hoping I'm not reading too much.
Tell me about it.
Tell you about it. I mean, I got depressed over it. I see Mr. Bennett already. They want to appoint a person to the airport. I could have sworn I heard him say that the person they have to has to help the airport. I thought that's what I heard. And if I heard that, it made me sick, man. I can't believe it.
This is the problem with our town management. They
With all the
are
people we
woke.
bring to the meeting, okay? I talk to people. The houses are shaking over there from the jets taking off at the end of the runway, okay?
And you have to live with it.
Yeah, they want us to live with it.
Yep.
Keep paying more taxes.
Well, that's right. That's what they want because they're running out. But in addition to that, I have obtained, and this is Mr. Treffery has been very helpful in doing a yeoman's job and trying to keep us informed because we are the squeaky wheel and he knows it.
Right.
So there's a revised or annotated noise abatement program, which I call noise abatement policy,
But
which
Mark,
should be called a policy.
the sad part about it, this has all been in the books. They've never done it. That's
Well,
the problem. Now they're trying to change it to do something, but not as much as they had before.
Well, I have comments in here that I have submitted to our representative, Mr. Aaron Henry.
Listen.
And he's not in his office anyway, so...
Well, yesterday him and the town manager went to help finalize. There was 20 candidates for the airport commissioner's job. They went to help organize that, okay? So yesterday, I guess they sat in, they narrowed it down to 3. I'm hoping, God, please help us, that they do get someone to give us a hand, okay, and really give us a hand.
Well, I'm wondering what the hell was the town manager doing there? What's he, a new commissioner?
Well, he wants to make sure that I'm hoping it's to help us, not to give us the banana. That's another problem.
No, he's filling the seat just
Here.
for the vote.
Before we're already running late, okay?
We're running
I want to
late.
give Joan Lovely, Sally Kearns, okay, Moulton's office, the select board. I hope they stay with it and not back off because Mr. Garner Trask is getting his nose in there, okay? And believe me, he's not a person we need. And that thing, he should step aside because he's already helped the airport enough, okay? He's got to back off and let the residents of Danvers get some
As a
relief.
result of your comment in regard to Joan Lovely, I sent her an email today asking her what is the process, legislative process, that she can identify for us to start collecting our real estate taxes instead of the $6,000 pennies that on the dollar. and she has not replied yet, but I will follow that
Okay,
up.
I'll give her a call. if you
So
want.
thank you very much for
Listen,
being here.
and Aaron Henry, he's been trying to help us. I'm telling you. I mean, I see a change. Okay, it's better than Karen Nelson. Karen Nelson just gave them whatever they wanted. They needed a sign, give them a sign. They needed help with wetlands or something, she'd be helping them. Okay, we don't need someone over there doing that work. We need someone over there helping the residents of Danvers.
Tony, thank you very much,
Thank you very much.
and I
sorry
hope
if I come across strong.
we are going to continue this next month.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Good night, Danvers.
Thank you, Danvers.
Oh, I like the Z.